everybody. I'm Tom Basso.
I'm Z Garcia. What's happening, folks?
Sam Healy, what's up, y'all?
We're back, and today we are talking about games that we're not fans of, but more so games that we expected to be good. Games that we thought were going to be great and then weren't. Or in other words, disappointments. The kind of look that when we don't yell, we just look at you and say, I expected better.
Man.
Is that worse? Would you rather have someone say that to you or yell at you?
That I expected better. That cuts deep.
Yeah, it does.
And the games that do that, games that have every right to be good,
Yeah.
and then you play it and go, oh, that's like a balloon with all the air slowly leaking out.
This was such an easy list for me to make. What I did was I went to my games that I rated poorly, just started going through that, and I was like, yep, I really expected that one to be a great game. So I had like 20. I had to start paring it down. I know some of them you have joined me in this disappointment, and other ones on here that you may disagree with me on.
And that's certainly going to be true of at least one of these games. On my list is a disappointment to me, but I'm sure you guys will
Actually, yeah,
disagree.
one of mine will be disagreed with by Z, and one of mine that Sam would have disagreed with didn't make the list. So this
And
makes
I did the same thing you did. Look at the badly ranked ones. Oh, I was psyched for that to come out, and then it ended up not being to my liking.
Is that what you did?
Nope.
How did you do it?
He put it in three.
The top
groups of three.
5. Come on.
No, I didn't do that.
What did you do?
No, I just went through the top. I guess I just scrolled through the top 1,200 games on the database.
By ranking?
Yeah, and because usually I'm not really counterculture, but I'm counter what everybody really likes. Not always, but sometimes I am. So that I decided to do it that way. Just went through the top about 1,200 games on the database of BGG, and then picked about 15 games. 15 games is what I got to.
That's a good way to do it, too.
That
Yeah.
I was expecting to like because everybody else liked it, but then it was like...
That only doesn't hold true if you played it when it came out.
I wonder how much crossover we're going to have. I bet we have a little bit of crossover.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't think I'm going to have as much with Sam because several of mine are not in the top 1,200 for good reason. But let's get going.
Number 10.
All right, my number 10 is a game that I really should have liked, and I really should enjoy playing it still because I really enjoy the theme of it, and that is J.R.R. Tolkien's universe for the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Really should have liked this game, but after playing it a couple of times, it just went
Wait, what's the game?
straight down. War of the Ring.
Really?
Yep. I don't think I will ever play War of the Ring again
I already have like 10 bad comments on the video.
because Battle of Five Armies is out. And really, the one thing that killed it for me was the fact that you can't go to war until you can't fight somebody until you're at war with them. And I just thought that was really stupid.
It makes thematic sense.
It does make thematic sense, but it doesn't make good gaming sense, if that makes any sense.
You gotta say it now. You're into that sentence now. You gotta keep going.
Yeah. Because, I mean, they're sitting on your doorstep. You can see that they are there. You know they're going to attack. And
You gotta wait till they actually...
I gotta wait till they do it. You know,
Okay,
it just
okay.
doesn't make sense to me. So, Battle of Five Armies, it carries the same feel as far as the universe is concerned. And it carries the same gameplay feel, even, really, without that stupid rule.
Now, is this a game that you liked originally, though?
I liked the concept of it. But ever since the first time I played this game, it was that stupid rule. I have to wait to go to war.
Okay.
So
Why
it's at the 10 spot. It just squeaked in. My
Right,
list is
right.
ordered from games that I don't really like it. And then my number 1 is like, I will never play this game again.
Sure.
You know.
My list is ordered in how disappointed I am.
Mine too, basically. The level of hype to disappointment ratio, I guess. You know.
Also, the opinions of Sam Healy do not reflect the opinions of all of the Daystar, blah, blah, blah.
Of course.
Just saying. I like War of the Ring. All right, my number 10 was a game that I was interested in because of both the theme and the mechanisms. And then it just was a dud when we played it, and that's Alcatraz the Scapegoat. Alcatraz Escape Go was from Z-Man. It was supposed to be a semi-co-op game, which nowadays I've learned I don't go in with the expectations that I did when this one came out. But this one was everyone wins except one person. You're all trying to escape together from Alcatraz and pin the blame on one person who you leave behind.
Right.
That's a cool concept. But essentially the game itself was just a very boring game. It was almost like hot potato, like here, no here, no here, and whoever had the hot potato at the end lost. That was essentially the way the game felt.
Okay.
And it was just I found it very disappointing. I was really excited about this one because I thought escaping from Alcatraz, that's a cool theme. Oh, and we all pinned the blame on one person, it's a cool theme, but it was essentially just kind of, it was a little random. The theme was very thin.
Yeah,
it just didn't come together very well.
The game came and went, that's for sure.
Did you ever play it?
No.
But, okay.
It vanished. I mean, it vanished immediately.
Yeah, so unfortunately I thought I would like it, did not.
My number 10 is a sequel to a game that is a huge favorite of mine, and it's a weird thing that we get sequels sometimes, so when you get one, you cannot help but get excited. This is Tikal 2. And Tikal is a game I very much like, and this is my number 10 spot because I don't hate the game. The game's okay, you know, but I was psyched for it because I really like the original game. And this one's very pretty. It's a nice production. It's a gorgeous game, but the gameplay is just, more Euro gamey stuff. It's mush. And the original one I still think is a very, very good design. So, bit of a letdown on my number 10 there. Again, largely because it was carrying that, it was bringing that baggage of the original game with it, you know. So, my number 10 is Tikal 2, The Lost Temple.
Number 9.
My number 9 is one of those experiences that you all joined me in. Mm-hmm. Beautiful miniatures, looked amazing, cooperative game, cool mini or not, didn't think it could go wrong. Besieged.
Oh. Yeah.
We went into this one.
That's a good one. That might have made my list. I did not think of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
I
went
didn't
into
think
this
of it either.
game and even going over the rules.
Yeah.
Up until the actual playing of the game, it sounded good. Set it up, it looked good.
Yep.
Talked about it, monsters rushing in, and then it fell apart.
Yep.
Very little decision making was possible. Overwhelming odds where it felt like you were stabbing a goblin and then 30 more would rush in or whatever the monsters were.
Yeah.
I was just really disappointed because when we first got it and looked at the miniatures, it's like, wow, this looks good. Oh, the theme, Besieged. And well, we hated the name, but the rest of it sounded good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one is also looks like it's a coming and going. I'm already starting to see this game on clearance everywhere, and it's less than a year old.
Yep.
All right, my number 9 is a deduction game, which there are few and far between, it would seem, and I like that genre a lot.
I know what it is. Is it Days of Wonder?
It is not. No, I was. It could have been, but it's not. This one's Lady Alice. Lady Alice has the Sherlock Holmes theme,
I like Lady S.
and the game was just a little flat. I was hoping for it to be like Clue done really, really well. It's just Clue like the Euro game a little bit.
That is exactly what it is. It's cool,
You know?
the Euro game.
And that wasn't quite what I was hoping for. It also scales very poorly. You need to have 4 players, really. Any other combination gets weird, gets kind of iffy.
Oh, you also had a really bad experience
I
with
also
this
had a
game.
very, very bad experience of this game, which I'm sure did it no favors, unfortunately, out of no fault to itself. But yeah, one I was very psyched about. Looks good. It was from Hurricane Games, I think.
Yeah.
And I was really just like, man, they were on fire for me at the time. This one threw some water on that fire. My number 9, Lady Alice. But the one he was talking about from Days of Wonder, the Mystery Express one, right?
I thought that would be on your list.
That was also like,
All right, my number 9 is a game that is kind of a sequel. It's a standalone expansion to Heroes of Normandy, and it is called Shadows over Normandy. And I really wanted to like this game. I thought it would be cool because I was a big fan of Tannhäuser. So I liked that kind of supernatural World War II, World War, in between World War I, World War II type of era. I really enjoyed that universe, that kind of universe. So I thought I would like this a lot. Turns out it just became, I don't know, it lost its World War II feel, and it just became a Cthulhu game almost. And that just kind of dropped it off of the face of the earth for me. I still think it's a good system. I just personally don't like it. I still really enjoy playing Heroes of Normandy. So it's not that system. It's just the addition of another Cthulhu, tinge of corruption.
We don't have
for
enough
the
Cthulhu
game.
games.
Well, we have too many. And so Shadows over Normandy I was really excited about it. When we first heard about it at, what was it? I think it was Gen Con last
Gen
year.
Con 2014.
One of those
2015.
announcements.
It was
Favorite
one of those
year we're in.
announcements at the Yellow Party, and I was like, wow! And then it came out, and I played it, and I was like, oh.
You were like, wow.
Yeah, I was like, wah.
Oh, I thought you liked that game, actually. I did not realize you did not like the Cthulhu one.
No, I didn't, because it just, it really changed
Too much
the
Cthulhu.
layout of the game. It turned it into almost a horror game more than a World War II game.
Okay.
So that's my number 9, Shadows over Normandy.
Number 8.
It's all about the artwork with my number 8 pick here, and this is one that I think Tom, even if it's not on his list, he'll agree with me. This is a game I bought blind first time I saw it because it was that beautiful. Mad Zeppelin is what I'm talking about. And Mad Zeppelin, to me, seemed to be the second coming of Citadels. It was Citadels-ish gameplay, but more characters, more goodies, great theme instead of the build castles and whatever.
So you had bought this before you played my copy.
Correct.
This is the first game Z and I ever played together.
That's
I remember
right.
that.
I bought it at the store. Saw it. It was $20 or something, right? So no big loss. But man, what a gorgeous game! I gotta have it. Bought it. I played your copy because you happened to have it already, and immediately regretted having purchased it. The game was a dud. The game is just it took this concept of character selection and made it overwrought. The rules were iffy. The concept, while great on paper, didn't quite work in the card play sense of it. Just a very unfortunate swing and a miss, and one that I really wish to this day they would take another run at it, because the game's artwork deserves a good game, So that is my number 8, Mad Zeppelin.
I did not put that on my list, but that's a very good choice.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is a very easy list to make for me.
All right, my number 8 is a game that I wanted to like because I grew up visiting my grandfather in the fire department. He was a firefighter for San Antonio in Texas, and I really, really, really wanted to like this game because of the history that I have with fire departments. But Flashpoint Fire Rescue just fell flat for me. It did not grab me the way it did. I just felt it was too light, I guess you could say, too cartoony. I don't know what it was. It just didn't grab me like I thought it was going to. The box art cover is really cool. I love how it's got that that firefighter in an action pose and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
It's very evocative, but the gameplay is just not. So I wanted to like it.
Too mechanical for you, maybe?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. It's too mechanical. That's a good way to put it. And I just could not sink my teeth into it, so it fell flat. It's my number 8, Flashpoint Fire Rescue.
Sadness. All right. Well, my number 8 is going to mess with Z a little bit.
Okay.
One of my favorite themes in games, like Duel of Ages and HeroScape, is anachronistic combat. So when they make the name of the game, anachronism, I was very, very excited about that. Done by the History Channel, which gave me some pause, but I said, all right, it's got to be good to be able to take Spartacus versus whoever,
Genghis Khan.
And then
right?
it was so boring. You just took two guys in a ring and they just walked up and hit each other with swords. This is what it felt like.
Rock'em Sock'em collectible card game.
Yes, that's... Why are you mocking a game you like?
Because I had no expectations for it. I did not go into it expecting.
I was really
a great
pumped
game.
about it. I was like,
That's the
this
difference.
is cool. I'm
I
gonna
think
buy
it's
these.
okay, but I always thought it would be okay. Yeah.
No, it just sounded like a cool thing. They do that thing on the History Channel where they'll say, like, they'll take two, like a ninja versus samurai, and they'll tell you who would have won.
Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate
Yeah.
Warrior?
They test all the weapons and stuff, right?
Right,
Yeah.
I like
This was
that kind of
This
stuff.
was that kind of. Yeah.
History Channel. They never made another board game.
And Tri-King is gone, I'm pretty sure, also, right?
The company that helped them with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find this probably pretty easily. But don't. All right, anachronism.
Number 7.
This is the one I'm going to get a bunch of garbage for from both of these guys.
Uh-oh.
Because it's a game that I should have liked. I liked all the concepts in it. I liked all the artwork. I liked everything except the gameplay, which I kind of needed to like the game. This is Dead of Winter. It's my number 7. And Dead of
We
Winter,
already knew you didn't like that.
I am
so.
not over the zombie thing. I still like that. I like the social deduction aspect in games very much. This game did not seem like it was going to be very complicated, so great. It wasn't, it didn't seem overwrought. It didn't quite come together for me. This concept of the crossroads, I still like very much. The whole, you might trigger events in the game just from playing, and someone else will go, whoop, stop, something happened.
So you would try another Crossroads game if it was different, a different game?
As long as it doesn't have the hidden traitor maybe kind of thing.
Well, you really hate that.
I really hate the concept, not of a hidden traitor, of everybody's sort of a hidden traitor, because you need to do something for yourself, even if you're a good guy. I don't like that concept.
Oh, I really
might
like
hurt
that.
the group because I need to do some inane thing like collect more toothbrushes than anyone else or something. But
Hey,
that's
man,
not a real
that
thing. But
matters in the future.
Oral hygiene is of utmost importance.
yes,
That's
it
what you can
seems
tell
like
I'm not a zombie.
look at the teeth. There is it's an artificial way to make everyone look suspicious. I don't like it. Just let the guy who's supposed to be the traitor be better at the game if he doesn't want to look suspicious. That's my issue with it. If they did another Crossroads game without that, I'm on board. So that was my disappointing part of that game. Dead of Winter, again, I know I'm in the minority here, but I did not like it. That's my number 7.
Interestingly enough, on my list, there's one game from, like, all my favorite publishers have a game on this list.
Oh, yeah.
I already did Cool Mini or Not. Yeah. This one is from Portal Games, and that is Rattle Battle Hold the Loot. And I was excited about
Grab
that.
the loot.
Grab the loot, sorry.
I thought he was making a joke, actually. Like Rattle Battle, Hold the Loot.
Anyhow, the gameplay, the pirate theme I was on board with. Once we opened it up, looked at the components, looked great. And the concept of throwing dice in a box, I was all about that. I was really pumped about that. And then the disconnect between throwing that in the box, then measuring out the dice and moving them around in like a miniature combat game, combined with almost total luck as to where those dice actually landed, just killed that game for me. I was so excited, and it would just blah. And I think you're not gonna see this one much longer. I know they just came out with an expansion.
It did just
for
get an
it,
expansion.
but I don't think that. I think a lot of people agreed with me on that because I don't know who the audience is. There's that whole miniature measuring. Well, not many people. You don't like that sort
I
of
hate
thing,
that stuff.
right? And
Well, the game's not that short either, right? It's not a kid's game because it's like 2 hours.
Yeah. Pirates of the Seven Seas did what it was trying to do much better.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just a
and
weird,
I like Portal Games. I think they put out great stuff.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah,
was just a big miss. But I thought it was going to be cool.
Right.
Right.
So Rattle Battle, grab the loot. Then hold
Grab
it.
the loot. My number 7 is a Western themed game, and I'm all about the Westerns. I love Westerns. I like, the flick 'em up. I love that theme. I loved Wyatt Earp because of the theme. There's a lot of good Western themed games out there. This one, I really wanted to like it because it has beautiful artwork. It has great components until you actually pull the components out of the bag. Colt Express, for my fingers, have components that basically make the game unplayable for me. Because trying to manipulate my big fingers and amongst all of those different things, I'm like knocking this over, knocking that over. Oh, I'm sorry, can you get that for me? And putting this up here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
like he turned
sorry.
into an old man.
You gotta spend half half
Derail
the
the
game.
train.
Yeah, exactly. You got to spend half the game fixing my swath of destruction with my fingers. So I still want to like the game, but every time I try to play it, it's just so frustrating.
Well, technically, you don't have to move. I mean, you could just flip the card over and you could have someone else move the piece. No, I mean really. I mean you
Yeah,
could say,
I understand
hey, here,
that,
who has the
but-
thinnest fingers? You move everything.
I mean, that's like, come on. That's like,
Very strange query.
Who
has the thinnest
All right,
fingers
Aaron,
on the
hold your
table?
hands up. You.
You're the
you're
designated.
the
Fingers?
designated mover. I can't play this game anymore, and because of that, my disappointment with the game, I just haven't had a good track record with it, so I'm not gonna try it anymore. Just don't want to. My number 7 is Colt Express.
Number 6.
All right, my next favorite company, CGE, and this one is for Z every game they've ever made, but.
But I didn't have the expectation, right?
No.
So it wouldn't be on this
But for
list.
me, it's Dungeon Lords. I really thought Dungeon Lords was going to be fun. The theming of it was based on the computer game, which I like, Dungeon Keeper, where you made a dungeon and then heroes walked in and died.
Right.
And so that's the same thing here. And it was dungeon puzzle. And I know a lot of people like it. I'm very much a minority on this one. Most people who play the game enjoy it. I just didn't like the fact that you were kind of puzzling the whole thing out. Like, okay, I'm going to bring in this guy first, and he's going to do 3 damage and stuff. I wanted it to be more freeform, like this guy comes through. Oh, boom, boom, boom. Oh, he died. And that was what the game is. Now, maybe my expectations were off. That's fine, but that's what this list is all about. I just kind of expected the components are beautiful, but building your dungeon wasn't that interesting. Watching the heroes come through, even less interesting. It just was a big dud for me.
Yeah. I remember this game. I remember, again, I wasn't super excited, but I'd see the box, the theme, and go, cool, man, it's killing fools walking up in my... And then you play the game and your face is like this the whole time. I am going to take this action.
Have you played it?
I've played it.
Did you?
Played it
You did
once.
not like it.
No. It's a really...
What are you, crazy?
It's a fairly heavy Euro game with a great silly theme. No.
Yeah, but see, interestingly enough, Dungeon Pets also is a heavy Euro game with a silly theme, but that one worked for me because it's about feeding. The theme I thought matched better. The Dungeon Lords theme, even though it technically matches, just feels like, not like I'm trying to stop these guys, but that knight's going to do 6 damage, so if I move him to the second position here, and that's kind of like, what? You doing math?
Yeah.
I'm doing math? Sorry. Didn't want to do math.
All right, my number 6 is a game that has enough iconography in it to fill about 3 games, probably. And I really like the theme of the game. I love being in space, conquering different planets, and using the resources you get from those planets, and being able to conquer other planets, and all this kind of stuff. I really enjoy that. But the iconography of Race for the Galaxy just completely blew it out of the water for me. I will not play this game anymore. Luckily, we have
Just
Roll
start
for the
sitting over
Galaxy
here.
now.
I'm feeling pretty good about my list. Less
that's
than
fine.
yours. You're
That's
like hitting all
fine.
these sacred cows.
I really wanted to like Race for the Galaxy, and I'm being honest here. It is still difficult for me to understand exactly what all of the different icons do, and I've played this game a lot because this guy likes it a lot. And I do
right.
I do a lot of the gaming with him, especially back in Korea. So that says something. If
Sam
iconography,
enjoys gaming more these days. You don't. You're not stuck playing all the games with me.
Yes,
you
that's
can
true.
always go off in a different group.
That's true. But I wanted to like it. I just don't, and I still don't, and I probably won't ever. It's my number 6, Race for the Galaxy.
I'll never like you, but I'm trying so hard. Shut up.
All right. Tales of the Arabian Nights is my number 6.
Hating both these guys.
It is a story-driven game. It's not really a storytelling game. You don't tell the tale. You read it from the book. And as you play the game, you move about a board. It's a very pretty game. Comes with a big old thick book. Things are happening to you. And you are supposed to be making choices in the game. The problem is, yeah, things happen to you, but they rarely matter in the game, and the choices you make are inconsequential. It doesn't matter what you do. For one thing, there's no correlation between what you do and how things turn out. So you could easily roll a die. Oh, you find a beggar on the side of the road. Oh, okay, I'm going to give him money. Great, now he beats you up. Oh, okay. Next time, you find a beggar. Oh, I'm going to beat him up. Oh, he was a magician, and you've now killed the magician, you monster. Well, right? That's the problem.
I love it.
If it's just random, then just let it be random, because I'm not making a choice, really. And the game was long, and it just felt like an exercise in frustration and pointlessness.
You just, like, stabbed a little girl's heart in Italy.
Was that game designed by a little girl in Italy?
No.
Oh.
But the girl that went to us with that, she was the kid of the guy that was helping us at the booth.
She
That's
loves
her
it?
number one game.
I'm glad she likes it, man. You know, I've always
You're not
been
glad. You're not.
No, of course. I'm
You
glad
hate joy in other
someone
people.
likes the game, you know. If you find a game you like, go for it. I was disappointed. I was really psyched about this game. It's a great theme.
You're a monster.
I am. Anyway, my number 6, Tales of the
I don't know
Arabian
what
Garbage.
just happened there, but all right.
Number 5.
All right, my number 5 is a game from Stronghold Games, and I really want to like Stronghold Games. I like Steve; he's a good guy.
Not true.
He's a nice guy.
Also not true.
I'm trying to.
He's a guy.
He's
you
a
know.
guy
Hey,
that
a
owns.
guy. Hey,
Not sure.
Oh my goodness.
Stop.
Anyway, I really enjoy Battlestar Galactica. Love the game, and I enjoy all the aspects of the game. It can go long, but I still enjoy it. It's great fun for me. Stronghold Games has a game that they made based upon like a print and play that was on Board Game Geek called BSG Express, which is basically supposed to be a faster version of Battlestar Galactica. That's all well and good. I wanted to like it based on that. If I can get the same feel from as I got from Battlestar Galactica in a shorter amount of time, I'd be in on that. The problem is, and you hit on this a little bit earlier with one of your other ones, is that it has this forced...
You probably should say the name of the game.
I did. I said Dark Moon.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, Dark Moon. It's Dark Moon anyway. Dark Moon, it has this forced... this forced... I could be a traitor or I might not be a traitor thing.
Oh, I see.
Because you roll the dice, and those dice are what you have to put into the pool. Well, the problem is you could not be the traitor and roll nothing but bad faces, and now you look like the traitor.
Wait a minute. You two are both complaining about the same thing, because you said this about Dead of Winter, and you're saying it
That's what
about
he's
that.
saying. That's what he's
It's
saying.
the exact same thing, but you both like the other
Is-
game.
Yes, that's true. Well, I don't. Do you like Dark
Yeah,
Moon?
I like Dark Moon. All
And you
right.
like
I like.
hypocrites!
I like.
I like them both.
No, I like Dead of Winter because it uses the social aspect of that forced guiltiness, I guess you could say. But with Dark Moon, it's just a roll of the die. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, in Dead of Winter, okay, yeah, I shouldn't have acted that way, which made you think that I was the traitor. But in Dark Moon, it's just a roll of the die. I didn't have a choice. I look guilty, but it's through no fault of my own.
Okay.
And I just can't get over that. I like everything
what's your
about Dark
excuse?
Moon, but that.
I don't know. It feels like an artificial mechanism to me in Dead of Winter.
But it doesn't feel like that in Dark Moon?
Everybody's playing. No, it doesn't. I don't
It's
know.
more artificial in Dark Moon because you just roll a die.
It feels central to that game. Whereas I think if you literally removed that from Dead of Winter and made the game harder, obviously, it would still be a really good game. Without this, like, hey, look suspicious thing that's added on to after the fact, it feels like to me. Again, at the end of the day, it's you like one, I like the other one, and we both have issues with the other.
I guess.
I have issues with both of you. All right. What's your
I have
number?
issues with your hat, sir. What are we at? 5? What are you doing? Oh.
I was going to throw it
Okay,
in
my
the-
number
in a
5, you
fit.
talked about it. Ignacy Trevcek is the designer / owner of Portal Games, and I tend to like most of his games, the ones I've played anyway. This is one I did not like, and it is not from Portal Games. This was put out by Fantasy Flight Games. It's called The Witcher Adventure Game, and I expected it to be very cool. It's based on the video game series, which I like, the ones I've played. It looked good.
I didn't know you didn't like it.
It was from Ignacy Trevcek, but it was being put out by Fantasy Flight, which made me think they must be doing something really special here. And it was not. It's one of those games that kind of came and went. It was on clearance the next day, and the next day,
That's
the next
true.
year.
No, that came. They announced that at Gen Con 15. It came out in the fall. It's gone already.
It's gone.
It was gone before. Yeah, wow.
So, unfortunately, it did not make a splash. I don't think I'm the only one who was disappointed there. And it was one that had the potential to be cool. It was based on a property that was neat. Anyway, my number 5 is the Witcher adventure game.
My number 5 is another one where I was super excited about the theme, but it fell apart for me, and that's Level 7 Omega Protocol. Just kidding. It's Level 7 Escape.
I was about to hit you.
It's easy to mix those up. Now, Level 7 Escape, I know I played the original game with you the first time, and I played with one of the other guys in a game group. And we came in, and the story was like, oh, you woke up in this pod. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get out. Oh, you're going to be able to crawl through the vents. It sounded really exciting. And then the game mechanisms were just awful.
Right.
Just move around and kind of blindly. And aliens came, but you couldn't fight the aliens. And it was just, it was so bad that Level 7 Omega Protocol, I am positive the sales of that game suffered, at least at first, because people thought it was an expansion and more of the same, and people did not want more of the same of that game.
Right.
Level 7 Omega Protocol is an amazingly good game,
Yeah.
but Level 7 Escape, I thought it was a cool idea. There's not many games about that where you're like, captured by aliens, experimented on, and you got to get out.
Yeah.
But it was really boring.
Yep.
Number 4.
All right, my number 4. Now we're in the top half of my list. This is the ones where I'm really not gonna ever play these games again. Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
I'm
Pretty good.
I can very easily say every game on my list I'll never play again.
Well,
I am definitely
could
going to
be-
play one of these again.
I mean, the top 6 on mine are, games that I could. If that's what everybody wants to play, then I'll play it. But these games here, no. I'm good. I think I'll sit over here and watch paint dry instead. That's I
tell
just
us
don't want to do it.
a
Okay,
worse than
so number
paint.
4. Number 4 is this is my dislike for this game was always there. I wanted to like it because everybody else seemed to like it.
Okay.
It's like I wanted to be
One of the cool kids.
yeah, one of the cool kids. I wanted to be in the cool crowd that liked this game. And so
I want to know if I'm cool yet or not.
Democker
I am cool!
was the game that back when it came out, this guy was touting it, Joe was touting it, everybody wanted to play this game. And
I'm
they
still
said it
touting it.
was
It's an
the
excellent game.
best game ever and all this other kind of stuff.
if
And
I
I
said
looked at it
that,
and I was
but-
like,
It looks like the best game ever.
it looks like a steaming pile of
Cardboard.
gooseberries. Because it's just nasty. I mean, it looked boring, and guess what? It is boring.
It's amazing.
It's incredibly boring. I wanted to like it only because everybody else did. But now I'm standing strong on my own. And it is a stupid game. Democker,
It's
my
like a
number
song.
4.
It's like a really bad country song. Slowly,
I'm standing on my own.
standing strong. Democker.
There you go.
Well, I'm getting less controversial, I think, as I go up, because I think a lot of people agree with me on some of these, except for my number 1. My number 4, Sam went through this one with me from AEG. Like I said, I'm spreading out the publisher hate here. This one, the concept, I love Scotland Yard, I love the hidden thing, and I love ninjas. So this game, Ninja, I think it's the Legend of the Scorpion Clan, sounded really cool.
Yep.
One person's a ninja, sneaking in. The other players are guards, except the guards can't do anything. They just walk around. You hear a noise, it's like, oh, guess a ninja's in the house. The ninja's like, I'm going into this house. Do you know what you're doing? No. Do you know where you're going? No. Then how do you get there? Random.
Random.
It's really...
No.
Isn't this game kind of sort of a re-theme of the
Nuns on the Run?
Nuns on the Run?
It has some
It is from the
similarities
same
to that.
designer.
But with Nuns on the Run, there's a bunch of people running, and I was able, because it was like a 30-minute, 40-minute game.
Right.
It was light, get in, get out, right? But this one, it's like, oh, wow, me against Sam, me against this other person. And the ninja just walks in the room, and he's like, did I find it? Hey, you found what you were looking for on the first shot. Or, on the 80th shot. You
Really?
lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the ninja doesn't really know where they're going. They have to like hunt for it.
You could literally just
Walk into a
on
room
your
and get
first
it.
turn walk into the right room and get exactly what you done. Get out and the game's over.
Oh, and the game looked cool, like guards walking around the
Wow.
board.
I never played this one, but
Frederick Moyerson,
You're not
who
missing
did the
much.
design, he has done some good escape games, but he gradually got worse. Actually, the one after this, the Escaping from the Nursing Home, was even less good.
Escaping from the nursing
know
home.
that.
Yeah, it was about 4 people. You're like all trying to get out of the nursing home. Was made by Mayfair, but this one looked beautiful, and I really expected it to be good, and it was not. Sorry,
It's not.
ninjas, no good.
all right, my number 4. This came out at the height of the popularity of cooperative. Board games. And Pandemic had just come out. Ghost Stories had come out, and the rumblings for a cooperative game from Bruno Fedudi were in the wind, and I was very excited. And then Red November came out, and it was not very good. Red November.
Oh, so you don't like Red November?
I don't, and I keep wanting
Excellent.
to like it. I feel that same way that you did about your game. Not because other people liked it, but because I wanted to like it.
Yeah.
Because it's a cool setting. It's a cool theme. It's fairly simple.
I guess I still think the goblins are
It's-
kind of weird.
Well, it was Fantasy Flight took it, and they were like, it's not fantasy. Goblins, done. Print it. So that's pretty much what happened. But the first printing was not a great idea. They put it in this tiny box when it was clearly
Yeah, they've since made it a
meant-
bigger game.
They've since made it a bigger game. I have played that one. It is a little bit better component-wise, but the game is just really random and still not that good. And again, the problem here was I wanted to like it a lot. Not that the game is garbage. It's okay, but my expectations are very high, so that ratio is quite large. So, unfortunately, that one cooled the water a little bit for me because all these co-ops are coming out and just blowing my mind. And this one, I expected that same thing, and it did not do that. My number 4 is Red November.
I agree with him on this one very highly.
Cool.
Number 3.
All right.
Your top 3.
This is not a company that is well known. In fact, I think this company went bankrupt from this game, and I took Sam Enzi with me on this one.
Ooh.
A box the size of Twilight Imperium. A pretty-
I know
we
what
just
this
saw
is.
this in
We just
Essen.
saw it. We just saw it. On clearance, mind you.
Yes. On deep clearance.
You don't know, damn it.
Yes, we do.
I am Vlad.
Oh, if you do that. Yeah, I mean, the idea of being a vampire or the actual original Dracula, right?
Right.
Vlad sounded cool. The box looked cool. The miniatures looked cool. And this one, for ratio of how cool it looked to how bad the game is, I don't know how far I could go apart there. It's like a 10-1.
Right.
The game is, it's as if they never played it. It's as if they wrote the rules, said, sounds good, and put it in the box. Because I can't imagine anybody playing it and going, okay, I'm going to sign
ready.
up on that.
It's ready.
Also, I don't know anybody who likes the game. Really, this is like not one of those, I'm not making a controversial pick here.
Right. I don't know. It's
I
a
agree.
very bad game.
It is.
But didn't it look kind of cool when I first got
Oh,
it?
it looked amazingly cool. I mean, the box alone was like, wow.
And the only reason it's not on my list is because my expectation went from seeing the box, right then and there, I hadn't heard about it before, to getting it on the table and going, ugh. That's it. Like it took all of like 2 hours to get over it.
Right.
My games are like months I'm waiting for these,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Sometimes
Right.
years. That's why
Okay,
they're
well, no,
on the
I
list.
had heard
but-
about this one and I got excited. I was like, oh, wow, they're going to be like taking the historical stuff. And then they didn't. It was just move around the board. It was like a roll and move game
It was
almost.
really
It was
bad.
really bad.
Yeah.
So I am Vlad,
much.
also known as I am bad.
Oh, wow.
Low hanging fruit. Is it
Yep.
me?
Yep.
All right, my number 3 is
So sweet.
I think it's going to be a controversial pick with you guys, probably
Okay, good.
with the masses at large. This is one that, again, I'm noticing a trend here. This is a Fantasy Flight game. It was one that I was psyched about because it was one of the first ones that did integration of an iPad, of an iOS, whatever. And it's XCOM, the board game.
I thought you liked it.
XCOM's okay. It gets worse the more you play it also. But
I have cooled on it as much as you have, I think.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. It was just a game that the promise of it takes an iPad to play. It's based on this cool video game series. It is cooperative. It is from Eric Lang. All these things, man, will get me, pumped up. I mean, those things are all exciting. And the game, the iPad implementation even was cool. I like that aspect of it. All right, you know what you do. And then that part stops and you resolve everything in the game and you just sit there and like, okay, now roll for this thing now. Roll again. Okay, that died. Now do it for this one. Do it again. One more time and that died. And it's just boring. The resolution of every action you took on this board is not appealing. That's why I don't like it.
I still
and again,
like the game.
more you
I'm just-
did it, the familiarity did not actually help. I think it hurt. It made
I think a lot of people went into this game thinking that they would it was going to mirror the experience they get from the video game.
That's true, and I'm happy it didn't do that because I don't want another
didn't.
shoot 'em up dungeon
Well,
crawl.
that's what I wanted.
That's what you wanted.
That's
okay.
what I wanted. I wanted a game that would mirror the tactical
Sure.
aspect of that game, because that for me is the bulk of the game. I mean,
Right.
sure, you're in your home, you're in your headquarters, and you're planning stuff out and trying to get things researched and all that kind of stuff. That for me is like 25% of the game
Sure.
tops. The rest of the game is me out in the field, trying to take out some baddies.
And that's probably a lot of the disappointment for people came from that aspect, but not for me. I was actually happy it wasn't that because I don't tend to like that style of game.
Yeah.
But then what I did get, which again got me juiced up for the game, ended up disappointing me.
Right.
I just found the overall stations that the players play and what you do in the game to not be exciting and not have the longevity. So that is my number 3, XCOM, the board game.
All right.
Okay, my number 3, another Eric Lang game. He's getting a lot of hate on this list.
Because he gets a lot of love normally,
yeah, I guess, yeah.
and so his disappointments stand out because you expect them to be good.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly correct.
Trying to figure out what game it is.
I wanted to like this game a lot, and it just is too grotesque for me. It glorifies. Well,
you a
it might
clue.
not be the one you're thinking
I'll
about.
give you a clue here.
Um,
That's not it?
what?
Is that not the
No,
clue?
that's
Oh,
not
you're
it.
thinking of the newer
That's
one.
not it. Yeah, it's the newer one. The others.
The others.
Seven Sins. Now, I want to like the game because I have actually played the game twice, and I really do enjoy the gameplay. For the most part, there's a lot of things that just rub me the wrong way. It's like, how what people used to say that if you rub a cat's fur backwards, it like freaks out on you or something like that.
Probably,
I've never tried it, so I don't know if that's true or not.
I would try it on you guys, but there's no hair to rub. Well, he's always calling you guys cool cats.
Okay.
That was a really long
That
roundabout
came
to
out
get to
of
that.
nowhere. Goodness. Anyway, there's just some things about this game that just rub me the wrong way.
Okay.
And that's why I won't ever play it again, because it's just not. It glorifies things that I would rather not glorify, and the fact that you have to become more powerful by getting more corruption in the game, that's not in my bag. You know what I'm saying? So I really want it. I mean, for those people who don't have a problem with all that, you should really go out and check it out, because I think it's probably going to be a game that you're going to enjoy. However, not for me, not even close. And that was a real big disappointment for me, because I really like many of the games that Eric Lang does.
Well, this came out after Blood Rage, too.
It did.
So
It did.
Good.
And see, that's another thing.
Does Sam like Blood Rage?
Yeah, I think he likes it. I think it's top 20 or something.
No, it's maybe top 100. I don't know. We'll see. But my number 3 is The Others, 7 Sins.
Number 2.
Okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit bad because this is the 4th game in a row that is from Fantasy Flight Games.
You don't feel bad at all about that.
I feel a little bit bad.
You're relishing.
Also, stop playing their games.
I kind of should, right? But some of them are great. Some of them are great. Now, this is one that was a re-implementation of another game, and I was psyched for what they were going to do by cleaning up that system. I'm talking about Eldritch Horror. Arkham Horror
Wow.
is a good game. for its time, but nowadays I would consider it, like many people would, to be too long, too much, too big for what's happening, especially when you throw in expansions. Forget that. You need a table twice as big to play that game.
There's a lot of people out there that you are making angry right now.
That's fine. That's fine. But
Not just out there.
I think a lot of people would agree with me though that when they said, okay, we are sort of resetting here, going back to square one, putting out Eldritch Horror, it's going to be simpler, faster, more thematic, more involving. They got me. I was psyched. I expected Arkham Horror on a world stage in an hour and a half, because the other one's 3, right? With more story, more going on, and I got
we
some
did
of
play
those
it in an
things.
hour and a half. I'm just saying.
You did? I've played this game twice now. I played it the first time. I was like, this is not for me. I played it again. I wanted to like it that much. And it's just long, and it has a lot of the same issues right out of the gate as Arkham does.
You must be playing it
They
right.
shoved too much in there. I don't know why they have a
Think
hard
so?
time.
I know it is way more streamlined compared to Arkham Horror.
It's not streamlined enough. And there's one card in there that came up in my second play that really soured my experience. I don't know if you guys have dealt with this one. And the card says, like, you lose all your progress.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. I have not ever had that come across in one of
Oh,
my games.
man.
If I did, I'd probably rip the card up.
Yeah, I would have if it had been my copy. That's for
Or
sure.
you just hunt it down and rip it up anyway.
That's true, but actually at this point in time, my boxes may have about 10,000 cards in, so finding that card may be hard.
So that was my issue with it. I was hoping for something else. I get that, and people who like it. The game's well made. I wanted Arkham Horror short and quick and light, and I didn't
We're
quite
not
get
playing
it.
any new Fantasy Flight games that match
Nope.
others
Yeah.
to it.
Anyway, that's my number 2, Eldritch Horror. Maybe that Arkham Horror card game will be the one.
Can't play it now.
All right, my number 2 is a game that this guy has loved for a very long time.
Better not be Cosmic Encounter.
It is not Cosmic Encounter. I wanted to like this game because I like the concept. I like the concept of different figures from past, present, and future
Oh.
all coming together on one battlefront stage,
All right,
whatever.
it's one of 2 games then.
And Duel of Ages just did not efficiently
To anything.
carry that.
Shut up.
I mean, it's like, I want to go do this, and it sounds really epic, so I have to march across the entire stinking board to do it, and I get to where I'm going, and now I roll a dice, and I failed.
Okay, well that would actually, I would understand that if that was your only character, but you have like 8 or 10 characters. It's not a big deal. They're all running in different directions.
Exactly. And they all can have that same experience of trudging across the board to ultimately fail at what you're trying to do.
I agree, but if you send them to the things that they're good at,
You can still fail.
well, you can with any game when you roll dice.
That's true. But it doesn't have that trudge across the
Not as
entire
bad as it-
freaking
No,
board.
come on, then go to a shorter spot.
The game is pretty boring.
I mean,
No, they're both
I
wrong.
wanted to like this game.
Definitely not
I
for everyone,
really,
though.
truly wanted to like this game, and it was a snooze fest every time it hit the table, which was a lot because this guy was so hot on it. But I will watch paint dry instead of playing this game. I promise you.
Has anyone ever watched Paint Dry?
I would do that.
I would do it. I
for
would like.
this game and any 18xx game. I would rather. You know what? Heck, I'll paint. You watch the paint dry. I'll do the work.
To be fair, down here, Paint Dries in about 30 minutes.
So I have the load of the work there,
Yeah,
right? The
that's
lion's
true.
share of the work. I'm
Did he
okay
just
with
offer to
that.
paint my house?
He did.
I will paint
feel
your
like you-
house if you let me take every game I don't like on the shelf.
And do what with them?
I can't say.
All right, my number 2. All right, continuing on my publishers. Still haven't got the Fantasy Flight yet, but my number 2.
Yet?
My number 2 is Days of Wonder. So which Days of Wonder game was I most disappointed with? Like majorly.
Let me think.
Rails and Sails.
No.
Oh,
Railroad
it's not Mystery Express.
No, 'cause
Oh,
I
I know. The one with the bidding and the tiles and
Yeah,
the
it's-
stupid ships.
Cargo Noir.
Cargo Noir.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Here's the deal, because it's Days of Wonder's own fault in a sense because they're so good, right?
Yeah.
Every time they come out with a game, it's an event. And they were just hitting on all cylinders. Boom, boom, boom. Cargo Noir, they're like, okay, now we're going to be doing mobsters. We're like, what? Days of Wonder and mobsters? What are we doing? Open up. You get to bid. Oh, okay. How do you do that? On your turn, you put a coin somewhere. We go around the table. We come back, put a coin again. We're going to take bidding and slow it down.
That really is what the game basically boils down
And it's
to.
a beautiful game with the coins are really
Oh, it's
cool.
gorgeous.
It looks great, and it's so boring. I mean, easily the worst Days of Wonder game, I think.
It's up there.
I really don't like it, and I went into it so I saw the artwork, and I was like, "Wow, this looks great!" I was so pumped, and I had to apologize to everyone after we played it because I built it up. Like, hey, this is gonna be great, guys. It's Days of Wonder. That's like a 100% hit rate. Whoops. We need to change that percentage.
99%.
Well, no, they've made that many games, but
But you're right, it's an event because they come out with like one game a year. So when it's a miss, that's a bad year. It's not a bad
Right.
couple months, you
Right.
know. So
yeah, and they had such a good track. I mean, they had Ticket to Ride and Memoir 44, and I Like Coliseum and
Mystery of the Abbey,
Cleopatra,
you
Mystery
like.
of the Abbey. I mean, it was boom, 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 and then Cargo Noir. Oh well.
number ones.
And finally, number 1.
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
Here we go.
Keep those dice rolling. 7.
And I rolled a 12, one of the highest numbers on this die.
And I rolled a higher number than yours.
Isn't that like the 5th time in a row that he wins?
No, I didn't win the last
That's
one.
okay.
This
I'll
game
let
is
him-
like
I'll let him have his good rolls
Duel
in
of
this,
Ages.
which doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
Right. It doesn't matter at all.
You know, I find it interesting. We have yet to have any crossover, have we?
I don't
We
think
have
so.
not had any crossover, no.
I doubt we will with mine.
Well, mine isn't a crossover. Is yours?
No, not yet.
All right.
Interesting. So is
Unless we have the same number ones, which I doubt.
30
Because you haven't played my number
disappointing
one.
games.
Oh, okay. All right. Who's
you-
first?
I'll go first, and we'll go down.
All
All
right,
right.
go ahead.
All right, so my number one, I just got to play a few weeks ago at the West Texas Tabletop Con in San Angelo. And it is a game that I actually did the interview for at Origins 2 years ago when
Oh, I know what the
they
game is
were
now.
when they were releasing it, and when the guy had it set up on the board, I was like, "Wow, this thing looks great!" And with every passing moment of that interview, my heart sank a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more because I was like, "This looks really great, but I don't think I'm gonna like this," because it's a programming game. Lords of Zidit
What a great name.
is a great name, a great universe, a great artwork, great components, great board, great everything.
There we go. Just stop. Okay, my turn.
And
Oh.
your entire turn can be thwarted rather easily. Every single turn.
You really hate that, I think.
I hate that. Because it is so demoralizing to have this plan and you're like, oh yeah, I can get this done and I can get that done and I can get this done. And so I'm like, okay, everybody starts. Oh, crud, he went there?
I didn't do it, Sam. I wasn't in the game.
My
Were you in the
entire
game?
turn is now...
Oh, Z did it.
yeah.
It wasn't me. It was
It
never
wasn't,
me.
it
was never
wasn't
me.
you.
Yeah.
But there was a number of people. As a
Dodged
matter
a
of fact, the
throw
guy that
fist.
actually won the game that we were playing was the guy who did it the most to me.
I haven't seen that guy since, actually.
They're going to use this video on how to catch a murderer later.
But
That'd be really dumb of us.
Lords of Zidit, I really, really, really wanted to play. Love this game. I wanted to like it. I wanted to have fun with it. It's just not in the cards. It's not in the books. It's not in the dice. It's not in anything. I will not play that game ever again. Lords of Zidit.
All right, number one is probably, I think, my biggest disappointment, and it is from Fantasy Flight Games. And Sam was in on this one. I honestly thought this would make your list. Because one of Sam's favorite games is Twilight Imperium 3. Really likes that game, right? So I figured the fantasy version of it would be just as good or almost as good. And that is
Warrior
Rune
Knights?
Wars.
Oh, Rune Wars.
Rune Wars, not the new miniature one that's coming out,
Yeah,
but the
yeah, yeah.
Rune Wars game that came out, which was essentially a fantasy version of Twilight Imperium, kind of, sort of. Where you were in the Terranoth universe,
Yeah.
and you had your group of guys, and you had heroes that you sent off on quests, and then they came back for quests, and you had fantasy armies with dragons and all sorts of stuff. Sounded amazing. And wow, it was long. It was, I thought, in parts over convoluted.
Yeah.
The heroes going off on their quests was such a huge disconnect from the rest of the game, and they became pretty powerful. And I don't know, I felt like there was just randomness. It didn't have sweeping epicness in it. I heard so many good things. The Secret Cabal guys that said this game was amazing. Other people told me it was amazing. I went in prepared for amazement and came out with, I didn't hate it, right? But I'd gone in with like Twilight Imperium
Well, I wasn't
fantasy.
I wasn't expecting much out of it. I guess it wasn't really on my radar. I had Twilight Imperium 3 already. Rune Wars was not really.
Yeah, I went in expecting this to be
wasn't
amazing.
really in my mind, I guess you could say. So when it fell flat, it didn't really make that big of a splash.
All right. Well, at least he agreed that it felt flat. I felt good about that. You know, I wasn't alone there. But man, I really was pumped about this, and I was so disappointed. So many pieces in that box.
Yeah.
Oh, sadness.
All right. I got to say, I'm surprised you guys have not talked about this, so let's talk about it. My number one is Seafall.
You know, I was actually saving Seafall to the end. I was going to say, now Seafall might have made my list, but I have not yet gone through the whole game yet. So
Yeah.
therefore, I cannot make an informed opinion.
I can make an informed opinion because
Oh,
I've played a
wow.
solid
Also, as
6
soon as we're done
hours.
recording this, we're playing Seafall, and
It's
it's been
okay,
10.
which is why I couldn't say
It's been 10.
10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Which is why that's okay, and I will
Block
play it
out
again
4
because
of
we're
them.
doing that. So, which is why I couldn't say, "Oh, I'll never play these games again," because I very likely will. But Seafall is a game I was waiting for over a year and a half, 2 years possibly, based on all these amazing, revolutionary concepts in board gaming today. I mean, this is, for all intents and purposes, the avatar of board gaming.
That's a really good comparison. I agree on that. It really felt like this was
is an
the biggest
event.
game of the year.
Except Avatar was actually good.
Yes, right. And to have it fall flat, to have it not be what I had built up in my mind to be, is partly my fault. I get that, but the game did not give me anything. It didn't even come close to what I was hoping it would be.
Yeah.
That makes it my biggest disappointment, based alone on how long I've been waiting, how much I've been fattening up this thought of tearing into this amazing game in my mind. To have it disappoint me, that's my number one. You know, again, it's not necessarily the worst game on my list.
Right.
I'm not saying that,
Right.
okay? I'm saying from what I expected to what I got, this is the biggest drop.
Again, I really think the problem that Seafall ran into is that it was not built upon an already established game.
Quite possibly.
It was not only did it have legacy aspects, but it was also trying to teach you a brand new game.
Yeah, right.
And that possibly is just too much.
That's possible. And I'm not going to go into spoilers because there's things I could tell you, right, that are things I don't like. I'm not going to do that. But I just wanted to explain why it's my number one.
Yeah, and I would have actually considered it for the list. I just think I want to wait till I'm done playing. You never know.
Sure.
You never know. And
Well, we are halfway through. We're halfway through. If you're not liking a game halfway through the game,
but I don't dislike it. I like it, okay. I just don't love it. But you're right. That is a big drop from me expecting this to maybe be a 10, right? I went in saying this could be my favorite game of the year. This could be one of my favorite games of all time.
even if it's just a 6,
Yeah.
which is still a decent game, you were expecting it to be a 10.
That's correct.
That's a
I
40%
really was.
drop.
Oh, well, manage your expectations. Really, that's it. And that's really what we like to hear from you guys. And what are games that you thought would be great? And then why weren't they so great? You know, what disappointed you? Part of that's on us as the players, but part of it sometimes on the presentation of the game, because they make the game look amazing, and the advertising. And part of it sometimes is that hype. You know, everyone's telling you this game is great.
Right.
Sometimes the game's just not for you. Maybe the game really is great, but it's not your style.
Right.
And that happened probably with me with Rune Wars. Obviously, I'm in a minority there. You're definitely in a minority on Dead of Winter, and you're in a minority on your whole list.
Wow.
Just saying.
Wow.
You put Race for the Galaxy and War of the Ring.
I'm under the bus.
Come on now.
All right.
Well, tell us. Well, I'm sure because on a list like this, almost every single choice, people are going to disagree with, except for I Am Vlad. That is indisputable.
Wow.
No, it is indisputable.
I don't think anybody, if anybody jumps up and says, I like that game, that they're gonna
Shut up,
they're
you.
gonna get all the comments. You will earn the internet that day.
Well, no, because a lot of people haven't played it either. So. All right. Well, anyway, thanks again for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Bassel.
Z Garcia, thank you, folks.
Sam Healy. See you on the flip side. And I really want to like Stronghold Games. I really do. I like Steve. He's a great guy.
Okay, well, let's stop lying. But continue.
He's very, at least.
Even Chewbacca's like, lies!
He turns it off.
Bonacore!
Is that how you say Bonacore's name from now on?
Sure.